This is the pre-lab video for the penny boat lab. I have a lot of the equipment that you will need out here. You will have a 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter piece of aluminum foil, a bunch of pennies that you should remember to bring as many pennies as you can in the class so you and your partner can use them. A clean, dry 150 milliliter beaker. Remember, you look on the side here for the number. Don't think it's 140, it's 150. You'll need graduated cylinders. These are in your drawer. You'll probably only need the smaller one, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. The electronic balance, a displacement tank, and then 2 larger beakers. The size doesn't really matter for these. Now, in this lab, what you are going to do is take that aluminum foil and shape it into a boat, whichever shape you want to use, and you're going to try and figure out how many pennies that boat will hold before it sinks. So what you have to do is get the mass of the boat and the mass of one penny, one dry penny, and you want to make a hypothesis for how many pennies your boat will hold. Remember on page 19 to do the best you can to get the idea of what your boat will be shaped like and why you picked that design. Will it have a flat bottom? Will it have more to a curve? High sides, low sides, whatever you want to do. You're going to make sure you fill out this data table when you're working on this. So you want to get the mass of the dry, empty 150 milliliter beaker. So you get the mass of this dry and then just put this off to the side because you're not using this just yet. And just pay attention to what you have to fill out in this data table as we go through this. After you have your aluminum foil folded into the shape that you wanted it folded as, you take the displacement tank, and I filled this most of the way up with water from the sink. And what you end up having to do, take one of the larger beakers, it doesn't matter which one, and stick it under the displacement tank, and then you just want to fill this displacement tank up until the water is going to pour out, like it is here. And just let that go until it's done pouring out. You want to make sure it is filled up as much as it can possibly get, because as soon as you start putting the aluminum boat on there along with pennies, you want water to pour out of there. So I got most of it filled up, or filled up most of the way from the sink, and then the rest of it was just with these 2 extra beakers. Now that that's done, you could take the 150 milliliter beaker that you have the mass of, and that's what you want to put under that spout. Because now you're going to put the aluminum foil that you folded into a boat, put that into the displacement tank, and start gently adding the pennies one by one. Because what happens now, as soon as more material goes into this displacement tank, it's going to cause the water to spill out. And we want to get the mass of that because we are going to compare that at the end. After you do that and you get the mass of this beaker that has the water in it, you want to pour this water into a grad cylinder. Now pick the graduated cylinder that is the smallest one that will hold the liquid. So if you have less than 10 milliliters, you could use a smaller one. If you have more than 10 milliliters, you would have to use the 50 milliliter graduated cylinder. So pay attention to which one you want to use. Go with the smallest one that will hold the material. And then after you're done that, you will have the mass of the beaker after the boat sank, so that is with the water. It tells you how to do a little bit of this math here. You're going to record the volume. You can calculate the mass of water displaced by the boat and the pennies, and then figure out the percent error and finish the lab. When you are done, make sure the equipment is put back where you got it. So the glassware should go in the glassware drawer. And make sure your table, your lab bench is nice and dry.